Okay, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this session of, I think this is the most interesting part of any marriage, how to communicate with your partner. More or less, everybody has been going through this thing. Most of us who are married, we know that there comes a time in life when we actually are stuck, and then we find that we are non-communicado. So, how to communicate with your partner is the session which we are going to begin with today. So, let us all start with this. First question to you all before we actually begin. What is the best or worst relationship advice you have ever received? I would like to have the answers in the chat box, please. What is the worst or best relationship advice you have ever received? Let's start with this particular thing. One question. So I would request you all to please write your answer in the chat. Any best or worst relationship advice which we have ever received? So let's listen to, or let's rather read out what all are these things. Okay. If you want your marriage to work, learn to sacrifice things. Okay, Anita. Adjustments. Things will improve after having baby. Adjust. Listen, process, sorted day. Do adjustment. Dr. Gauri, let go over things. Okay, great. Shilpa is saying do adjustments in marriage. Best. Sort out everything before going to bed with smiles. Very nice, Neha. Very good. Don't say anything to husband. Come on. Okay. Okay. Never hurt the other person's ego and never disrespect the partner in front of the other. Okay. Nurture your relationship. Don't take anything for granted. Very well said, Rashmi. Jhansi Rani is saying compromise. Okay. Oh my God. Rashmi Taneja is saying others. Sayani Bose is saying don't stop communicating to each other. Very right, Sayani. That is the most important thing. Appreciate each other, Surbhi. Lolita, communication is the key. Very good, Lolita. Trust your partner. Okay, yeah. We do that, Shilpa. We definitely trust our partner, but then there are times when we do not communicate well, and then there are some problems. Okay, but anyway, there is no perfect spouse. Okay, respect each other. Very nice, Rashmi. So all these are like the advices which we have been receiving. Most of them, I believe, is the best only, except one or two where we are not so, So we'll start with a small, I would like to share with a small case, or you can call it a small story, and we'll understand, and then we'll go further, we'll move on further. So there is this couple where the wife is a technical person and the husband is not so technical. So now with the coming time and with everything, the way it is happening, so one fine day, the husband, he is struggling on his computer with some of the latest technology, which he has to prepare a presentation, and he's actually struggling with the whole thing. So when the wife looks at it, she takes initiative and goes to the husband and says that, let me help you with this. And she helps him with certain changes, adjustments, certain keys and all those things. So once she has helped the husband is now okay, understood the whole thing, and he is able to do it very well. She further says that even if you get stuck somewhere, you can always talk to me and we can do it. This thing went on for a week or so, and husband was okay with whatever he had learned with wife, and he was okay with whatever had been done, and things went well. But one fine day, technology being technology, husband got stuck at what he had learned from his wife, and he was not able to do anything in the office. He called his wife from office, and wife was also busy in her office. She was doing her own presentations and she could not take up the call. So husband's presentation did not go so well, and he was quite frustrated. He came back home and he was very annoyed, very angry, and like what everything went wrong and this and that. So when she came back home, she found that everything is like in a haphazard manner, and everything was like in a very scattered way, and the husband was in a very foul mood. And so she said, what happened? Why are you, what happened to you? What went wrong? So he immediately started shouting at his wife and said that it's all because of you that I could not do my presentation well. You are not a good teacher. You did not teach me well. How do you do your job at all? And the wife was like, oh my God, what happened? I mean, what happened? And then you don't even pick up the phone. So the argument went on one after another. These people keep throwing insults at each other. These people kept insulting each other. And both of them were feeling that, yes, our ego is being hurt. And in between, they said some few things which they shouldn't have said, maybe. And while they were communicating with each other, and suddenly the wife realized that in one of her previous sessions with one of the counselors, she heard that it's always good to first listen and understand the feeling of the spouse. First, let us understand that. And then she realized, oh yes, I actually did not try to understand the feeling, what he is going through. And because of that, now it all had happened. So she realized, and immediately, as soon as she realized, what she did was, she just said, she went to her husband and she said, I'm sorry. So her husband was, what? I mean, during the communication, said, what? She said, I'm sorry. I think I should have understood that you had a bad day and you really went through a lot. So the husband said, uh, so he was like calm. Okay. So she went and she held her husband and again said, I'm sorry. I think I gave too much weightage to my ego. And that came in between when you said that I'm not a good teacher, and it actually hurt my ego. And that brought the thing in her, and she said, sorry again. So then husband holds her, and by the time when he held her, so she understood that, yes, the matters are actually coming down. Then the husband says, I'm sorry. So the wife asks, okay, what are you sorry for? So he says that, I'm sorry that I'm not throwing you out of the window, but actually it was a slight joke. And then they communicated, and when they went to sleep, it was quite okay. So the best part about the whole thing is that you need to listen, and not only listen, you need to understand what your partner is trying to say. Sometimes they say something, but there is a hidden meaning behind. So in order to be a perfect partner, I believe you have to have a good listening capacity for a good communication. So just this slide, if you look at it, the sound relationship house. So how does it go? So first of all, you have to build the love maps. Building love maps means you need to understand each other's world. You need to know each other very well. You need to know what other person's like, what is the like and dislike of other person, what is the favorite color, what is the favorite food. So if you know what he or she, what your partner likes to do, what your partner loves to do, what your partner does not like or does not love to do, that way you will be able to build your love map with each other. Then share fondness and admiration. This is also very important. You need to share the fondness with it. For that, and admiration means you need to actually praise the other person. You need to actually praise the other person for what he or she is doing, and that praise should have an actual meaning. It should have a meaning, and sometimes it should have a evidence. What happens is we generally say, oh, you're looking good. Now, looking good means what? So you need to kind of do it with evidence. Let's hear it from you in chat. If you have to admire your husband or your wife with an evidence, how would you do that? For example, if I have to tell this to my husband that, okay, he's looking good, it would be not like this simply that, okay, you're looking good. I would say that this yellow color shirt is looking better on you rather than the other day that you had worn the black combination with this. So I'm giving an evidence to that praise. So can I have some more examples from you all? How would you praise your spouse giving an evidence? It not necessarily me clothes, it can be for anything. So can I have some examples? Okay, your new haircut looks smart, makes you look 3 years younger. Very nice, Neha. You can try it out, others can try it out. Let's read these notes of admiration and use for ourselves. Okay, very nice, Neha. Anybody else would like to just add some example how you would praise your partner with evidence? Mind it, evidence is very important. Yes, anybody else would like to say? Neha has really given a very nice one. Your new haircut looks smart. Anybody else would like to, or it is too difficult to praise your partner? Okay, I was really happy. Okay, just a minute. I was really happy you helped with washing vessels today. I was tired doing chores. Okay, very good, Demelo. Chandrika says, when you smile, you look so handsome. Now, Chandrika, this is a simple appreciation, which we will say we will not consider as part of it. What I will say is that it has to be with an evidence, like I said. Okay, Thank you for the tea. I really needed one. Was too tired to make it myself. Very good, Lolita. Rashmi is writing, thank you for keeping your calm today when I got angry. Very good, Rashmi. So this is where you are communicating. You are actually saying with evidence you are praising. Very good. So the next one would be turn towards instead of away. So when you are talking to your partner, you should try to turn towards the partner, not going away from your partner. That is very important. Like in a conversation in daily life, when there is something happening, suppose for example your partner comes and says that, okay, today was a very bad day, and I don't know why these people do what they are doing. Suppose and suppose one of his colleague, he names it and says he is not such a bad man. Now we don't know what happened in the office, but instead of directly commenting on it, we can just say, I understand you may be upset. So the partner feels you are turning towards it. Having a positive perspective, managing conflict, make life dreams come true, and then create shared meaning. We will come to all these points one after another when we go towards the other slides. Anybody would like to say anything or ask anything by now? If it is clear, we'll move on. So this is the sound relationship house, right from building love maps to creating shared meaning. And the process in between, we will be discussing how to communicate. And that is the most important part, because whatever happens, as our old people used to say, our parents, grandparents used to say, whatever happens, you should never go incommunicado. You should always continue with communication. You should talk to each other, because talking may resolve any issue. But if you stop talking to each other, then it may definitely cause a big problem. So anybody would like to say something or add something here, or we should move on? Sarita is saying, I enjoy your one-liner joke. It makes me really happy. Very good, Sarita. That was a very good praise, which you can say with evidence. Thank you. Okay. So the first thing which you'd remember is 96% of the time, the conversation that begin with a harsh startup will end negatively. Like, you never clean up after yourself. Do I look like your mother? So this is a very common thing which we do in our lives, which happens that with living with each other, while we are living with each other, we are so used to with each other. And sometimes there are certain habits of your spouse which are irritating, which may not be liked by you. And maybe once or twice you have already communicated to them that I do not like it. But then also it is happening. Maybe you are also doing, or the other person is doing. Now, instead of saying this negatively and in a harsh way, there are also always other ways of doing or saying things. Like in this case, you never clean up after yourself. Do I look like your mother? What else could have been said in this place if you find your spouse is doing that? Anybody would like to add to it? What should have been said? That you never clean up after yourself. Do I look like your mother? I mean, you're directly saying, do I look like your mother? Do you think that I should be taking care of you as a kid? I'm not your mother, I'm your wife. So please understand, this is what she's saying, but the way she's saying is quite harsh and it's very negative. So what else could have been said in place of this? Anybody? Anyone? Okay, somebody has written something. Okay, it would be a great help if you clean up after work. Very good, Anita. That's right. I know you must be very tired, but can you please help with cleaning up? Very good, Damalo. So the startup should never be a harsh, but you see the record says, the data says that 96% of the time, 96%, that means we also do this. I love to see the rooms clean. Wish I had a magic wand. Very good, Neha. This is right. Good. So this I have taken, I mean, if you have read the marriage counseling book by Dr. Mittal, you know that what are the 4 horsemen and how they are the ones which are creating a lot of problem in your life in your marriage. First one is criticism, the other one is defensiveness, third is stonewalling, and fourth is contempt. Criticism, most of the time we are not talking to each other in the form of we are not complaining or we are not talking, we simply criticize each other. For example, if I take it like this, that suppose your husband or any of the spouse maybe went to the market and got something. Now the other person always thinks that this person spends is an extravagant. So would say, again, you've wasted money. You brought from that shop, you should have brought from the other shop. So this is basically a criticism saying that, okay, you are not capable of doing the things right. In house also, suppose for bed, for bedroom, your cleaning of the house, instead of simply complaining, you just criticize. You don't do this, you don't know how to do this, you are never doing it correctly, right? Any experiences of criticism which we have been you taking it or giving it? Any examples which you would like to share? Criticism, how criticism happens? Anybody? What are can be other examples of criticism? Anyone? You always favor your family over mine. Very good. Attacking the person's character rather than behavior. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yes, we do that. Very good, Anita. Okay, so criticism is the first horseman which causes the crossman. Like, for example, we can say, what we can, you always are busy with your phone. Now, this is a very, very common thing which happens. You are always busy with that stupid phone. You never come on time. You are useless. My God, Padma. So these are the things which always happen. You never come on time. You are busy. You are stupid. Busy with the phone and all those things. You always find that this criticism is one of the things. Then we come to defensiveness. What is defensiveness? How would you define defensiveness? I'm sorry. How would you define defensiveness? Defensiveness means the moment somebody is saying something, you, instead of understanding what the other person is saying, you start defending yourself, saying, I did not do it, or it was not my fault, I was not involved in this, I could never see it. I mean, try to understand what the other person is trying to say, but we start getting into our defensive mode. In examples about defensive mode, how people get into defense, like, yes, I was busy, why don't you understand, to keep yourself okay. So we get into defensive mode. Most of the times what happens is, the moment you get into defensive mode, you stop listening to what the other person is saying. So the moment you are criticized, you start getting into defensive mode. You always come late. I know, I know, but I have a meeting, I had a meeting and there was a lot of traffic, and so these are all excuses. Okay. Or you did not clean the house. I could not, I was tired, I have no time, I'm always busy, I have to look after everything. All these are defensiveness. So basically here the communication is breaking. Somebody is criticizing you, you take it in the negative form, and then you are defensive. The next stage is stonewalling. Now that is most dangerous. Stonewalling should never happen in any of the relationships. Stonewalling means you are talking to your the couple is communicating with each other, and while they are communicating with each other, you find that you are not able to, or the argument has become heated or something, and you stop giving any of the answers, or you stop responding. You say, okay, fine, you are right, okay, fine, you are right, okay, fine, you are right. That also is quite hurtful, because the other person is taking it in a very negative way, because that makes that creates a wall between you and your partner. So somewhere down the line, that is a biggest hurdle in any of the relationship. Stonewalling, creating a wall between you and your partner. You are actually you have shut down, or the partner has shut off. Now imagine, how would you feel if you are talking to your partner complaining, your partner has come back from office, or you have come back from office, and you are trying to relate to things, and the other person has stonewalled you, not actually is relating. That shutting down is actually the most hurtful thing, or that will cause the biggest problem. That could be the biggest hurdle in any of your relationship. So that stonewalling should not be there, right? Put yourself in my shoes and see no reaction. Yeah. So stonewalling, no reaction. You just stop talking. You just stop talking, and you're not able to talk, and then that causes a lot of problem. Next is contempt. Now that is the worst part, where you are not taking your spouse as your partner or considering your partner to be with your level at par. You find that your partner is not good enough for certain things, or you find you just carry a kind of contempt for your partner. This could be explained very well with a small video. If it plays, I would like to share it with you. Just a second.
You're so selfish.
Ugh, what an idiot.
It's not my fault we're always late.
Forget it.
Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Dr. John Gottman calls these negative communication patterns the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse because they'll lead to the end of your relationship. In fact, he can predict this relationship failure with over 90% accuracy if the behavior isn't changed. So, what can you do? Well, at the Gottman Institute, we understand you might not even know you're communicating this way, or you might not know how to control it. But if you practice the following 4 research-based criticism attacks the character of the recipient, instead of focusing on a specific behavior. The antidote to criticism is to talk about your feelings using I statements, then express a positive need. Contempt is an expression of superiority that comes out as sarcasm, cynicism, name-calling, eye-rolling, sneering, mockery, and hostile humor. Contempt is the greatest predictor of relationship failure and must be eliminated. The antidote to contempt is to treat one another with respect and build a culture of appreciation within the relationship. Defensiveness is self-protection through righteous indignation or playing the victim. Defensiveness never solves the problem and is really just an underhanded way of blaming your partner. The antidote to defensiveness is to accept responsibility, even if only for part of the conflict. Stonewalling occurs when the listener withdraws from the conversation without resolving anything. It takes time for the negativity created by the first 3 horsemen to result in stonewalling. But when it does, it can become a habit. The antidote to stonewalling is to break for at least 20 minutes. Calm down, then return to the conversation. Spare your relationship from certain destruction. Learn more about eliminating the 4 horsemen. You're so
these 4 horsemen, which we have understood in the video very well. So the criticism is defining the problem as a flaw in the partner. You always do this, you never do this, you do this, you never do this, you are this, you are that. Defensiveness is counter-attack, like we just understood. We are just explaining that I am the innocent victim. I am not like this. You always come late, traffic is there. You never do your work. I'm sorry, I actually cannot do it because of my business. So you are always in the defensive mode. Stonewalling, failure to respond or giving listen cues, and attempt to calm down. Sometimes this is also an attempt to calm down, wherein the other person keeps on speaking and you feel that if you calm down, if you keep quiet, the other person might calm down and the thing would go down. Contempt is talking down about each other. You're an idiot, you're a stupid and all that. Sarcasm and I don't care. Whatever you do, whether you understand or not, I don't care. I'll do whatever I want to do. So that was something which I have taken from this Dr. Gottman, and it's a beautiful thing which we need to understand. So what are the antidotes to these horsemen? So the first horseman is criticism. So use gentle startup. Instead of directly going and criticizing, you should use a gentle startup by talking that, okay, instead of just direct shouting and saying that you never do this or you do this, instead of that, you can always say that what you are looking for. Instead of directly blaming somebody, you can always say what you want. Instead of telling what they are not doing, you should tell what you want. Okay. Defensiveness. If you are blamed for something, if you feel that yes, you are wrong, instead of defending yourself and outrightly saying no, I could not do it because of this reason or that reason, you should take responsibility. You are always late. I know, I understand, I get late, I try to come, but yes, I understand and I will be careful. I think I should be more responsible and I'll try to come on time. Contempt. Now, contempt is the worst thing. You should be more, you should have more appreciation in the relationship. And instead of talking, instead of using any kind of this language that you are idiot or anybody, right? Better is that we start using appreciation or we do not say anything. And then stonewalling, do physiological self-soothing. Like I told in the story, instead of shouting at each other and when the argument gets going, when going gets tough, you should get going. Instead of just letting it go, you should go hug each other, talk to each other. वो जादू की जप्पी, like we had it in Munna Bhai MBBS, no? जादू की जप्पी sometimes solves everything. So physiological self-soothing could be the antidote for these 4 horsemen. The 4 basic problems in any communication or any marriage relationship where communication is a problem. These are the 4 horsemen, and these are the 4 antidotes. For criticism, gentle startup. For defensiveness, take responsibility. For contempt, build culture of appreciation. And for stonewalling, do physiological self-soothing. Hug each other. जादू की दप्पी देंगे हम एक दूसरे को. Now, how when you, for example, how will you convert a criticism into a complaint? So, for example, the criticism is you're always looking at your stupid phone. I never get your attention around here. I might as well live alone. So, any suggestions how this criticism you will change into complaint? Anyone? I would like to listen, read it in the chat box. The criticism is you're always looking at your stupid phone. I never get any attention around here. I might as well live alone. So what could be, how would you turn this criticism into complaint? Let us do this exercise. Come on, please. Let's have it in the chat box. Anybody? Okay. I feel lonely. Okay, Rashmi, fine. Anybody else? Rashmi is saying, I feel lonely. Okay. I love to spend time with you. I get less time due to your phone. Why can't you spend time with me? When you get home, I'm looking forward to your company. So if you could take time, I would appreciate that. Very good, Alima. This is my time. Okay. Very assertive. I'm afraid you are late complaining. Okay. It will be nice if you spend more time with me. Okay. Lolita is writing, whenever we are together, it would be nice if you could give me your time instead of your phone. Okay. Good way to say that, Lolita. That's great. Very nice. Okay. So let's see how it is. Just a second. So these are the answers which you have given, and they are all correct when you are writing. So you can just say that when you were writing about these things that, okay, I feel that whenever you come home, I wait for you whole day. And now I feel this is the time for you and me. This is our time. And instead of using your phone, it would be better if we spend. So some of you have really given a very good answer. Now, so good communication is marriage is the glue that holds up marriage. No marriage can be sustained without good communication. Any other lines which you would like to add to this? Good communication. What is the importance of good communication? Most marriages, most marriages break up because of, yeah, very good, Varda. Can we spend some quality together? Listening more, yeah, very good. Listening more is the key, very right. So communication, without communication, I believe no marriage can work. No marriage can actually have a good, healthy relationship, no couple, when there is lack of communication. Good communication is always the key to uphold your marriage. Yes, it is the essence of a good marriage. Very good, Rashmi. It is the essence of good marriage. It is important to understand for all the couples that any marriage, if there is lack of communication or if there is a lack of understanding during the communication, the listening and the speaking part, you will find that the marriage is not working. So for marriage to work, it is very important that we had, yes, very good, Savitra, when you say not judgmental. So it is very important that we need to understand how to communicate well with each other. What are the few important points so that we can communicate with each other? So we'll be talking about 5 levels of communication. There are 5 levels of communication. So in the first level, level 1, the couple give out facts and other information about themselves. So they are just informing about each other, where on the level 1. So they give out the fact that, okay, I like eating this, or today I'm going here, or tomorrow my flight is at this time. So you're just sharing the facts and other information. That is level 1 kind of communication. In Level 2 kind of communication, the couple share ideas of other people. That means they talk to each other about facts, information, and also what is the opinion of some other people on some topic, maybe politics, maybe relationship, maybe functions, culture, or anything. So they share ideas of other people. This is level 2 communication. So they are not free to each with each other to talk what they feel. When they go on to the level 3, they begin to take a risk by expressing what you think, or they ask for a response. So at level 3, when the couple are at level 3, they will start sharing information about each other. This is the level of intimacy. We can say this is a level of intimacy where you are sharing your own ideas and you are sharing your own responses also with the your thought processes, your ideas, and you are slightly on a third level where you are a bit intimate with each other, and then you also take a risk of what you think. Now this is why I'm saying a risk, because now you are at that level where you feel that the other person is able to understand you. So now you are at that point, so you are taking that risk of sharing, and then you also may ask for what the partner thinks about the idea which you have shared. So you are sharing your own idea. Earlier you were sharing other people's viewpoints, now you are sharing your own viewpoints, which is very important. So that is called the third level of communication. Fourth level is they begin to share personal information and informations where you open up and talk about your childhood. So this, you can say, this is a higher level of intimacy. At this level, you begin to share your personal information with each other, what you like, what you do not like, your emotions, your feelings. You start sharing all those things. You open up, you talk about your childhood. Now this is very important. This comes with trust. This comes with that level of trust where you are sharing what you had in your childhood. So that needs a very high level of intimacy. And what might have happened in your childhood or in your teenage, you are sharing. You are able to trust your partner so well that you are able to share. And then last, the fifth level is the highest level of intimacy, where you are willingly sharing your feelings and emotions. You share all kind of personality things which you have, who you are as a person. There is no hidden agenda. Everything is transparent. You are able to share all your feelings and emotions, and you also share everything which you care about. So just take a moment, and if you want to share, otherwise it's okay. You just take a moment, realize, understand at which level right now you are, whether you're on level 1 or you are on level 5 with your partner. You just take a moment. I'll just give you a few moments. Think, realize, if you feel like sharing, you may share. If you don't feel like sharing, don't share. But it's always good to evaluate ourselves that at which level of communication we are. Or if we talk to our clients when we are marriage become as a marriage counselor, we should know which level of communication they share. Oh my god, so most of you are on level 5. That is very, very good. I mean, yes, Chandrika is saying 5, Jhansi Rani ji is saying 5, Surabhi is 5, Rashmi is 5. Wow. This is something. Sarita is also saying that this is something very beautiful. And I must say kudos to you all where you are on level 5, because this is the most beautiful part of any relationship, where you are on level 5 of your communication. So congratulations to all of you. And those who are not sharing, it's okay, no problem. It's just a way to know where we stand in our relationship. It's okay, perfectly all right. Okay, Neeraj is saying 3, 4, 5 mix. Okay, yeah, sometimes there is a mixed feeling also. At times you are at higher level of intimacy. Maybe in few matters you are on high level of intimacy, and few matters you feel that no, they are not so, you're not so open. So it could be like that also. Very good. Okay. So these are all 5 levels of communication. And if we are on level 1, we should try to reach to level 5 with understanding, listening, talking, and we should do away with the 4 horsemen when we are actually trying to do this 5 levels of communication, because these 4 levels, 4 horsemen are the biggest hurdles in any relationship or in any communication. So it's important to do away with the 4 horsemen, and then we should go from whatever level we are, we should try to reach to level 5 with our spouse. Very good. Thank you so much for that, for sharing the levels. It's really very good. So how can I learn to communicate to my spouse? Now, the next question is, okay, what if the spouse is not honest? Now, that's a beautiful question. What if the spouse is not honest? That means somewhere down the line, you have not been able to develop that kind of trust, where the partner can be honest with you, number one. Or number two, it could be that somewhere down the line there is a lack of communication between you two, where the and for whomsoever you are talking about, that the space is not given, or you do not, there is no trust in the relationship. That is why the other person is not honest. And sometimes it happens that in a relationship you need to give space to each other, and if that space is not given, and if you are over possessive or obsessive, then also the other person sometimes just to keep you happy may lie. So we don't know whether that person is lying just like that as a habit, or is avoiding any kind of conflict and lying to you. So that we will have to understand why the other person is dishonest. So we'll have to understand the things. Okay. So Padma, this is a very general answer. Otherwise, we have to understand what is the case study. Okay. So we must learn how to speak each other's personal learning style and language. Now, this is very important and very interesting. So everybody has their own learning and listening style. We need to identify that. This is also a part of NLP, where you understand that if whatever the person's learning style is, if we match that learning style, then automatically you come to know that things are started moving better. If you talk to that person in the same learning style, then you come on the same page and things start getting better. So let's understand the learning styles. So the first learning style is visual. In the visual learning style, what is the visual learning style? Where the other person needs to see everything. The person would love to see everything, and then only would be able to trust or understand. So you will have to understand that whether your partner is visual in his style. They need to see what is going on. They need to see the big picture. They want to show, or you just have to look at. So if your partner is a visual, you will have to do that. Then auditory. This is where your partner has to learn everything, listen to everything. Okay, I'll calm down, Gauri, for that also. Just a minute. Okay. So auditory, for auditory partners, you need to be able to, the auditory people will have to listen to everything. They should be able to, they are able to connect only when they listen, when they have the listening word. So you need to be audible enough not to be misunderstood. So in your communication, you need to speak in such a way that clear understanding is there on the other part. It shouldn't be like this, that you talk in such a way that the other person can listen. So you have to be very clear what you are talking for the auditory person, because he or she is able to understand only by listening. And then how you feel about something. The third kind would be those who go by feeling. So they have to feel everything. This kind of communication affects the person, what he or she is feeling, and that would matter. They may respond. How would you know that he or she is like that? So when they talk, they will say, this doesn't feel right. So you know that this person will understand only after feeling. So you have to have your communication in that way. Okay. Then you have some people who are extroverts. So extrovert people talk. They talk. They would like to solve everything or resolve everything by talking. They get their energy from other people. The extroverts people are like that. When they feel dull, if they are talking to people, they get energy. So you know that they are extrovert. So they would like to talk it out everything. And then we come to the introverts people. Now introvert is that introvert people generally, they do not like to talk. They do not like to talk to anyone or everyone. They are like, yeah, so they are like, they do not want to listen, they do not want to talk to anybody, they have their own world. So how to deal with such people? You will have to give them time to think and process what you are saying. They need to think and process. So they will be giving more, they have their own suspicion. If you compliment an introvert in a public, they might get suspicious why he or she is praising me. So they don't even take compliments very well. And they generally feel that extroverts are more successful. Okay. And they have their own world. They have their own space. So for them, you will have to give them time to think and process whatever you are trying to say. Do not expect immediate response or immediate reactions. Once you have shared something, give them time to process and think. And then maybe later you can again ask, or you can relate that, okay, I had shared this thing with you. How do you think we can go ahead with this? So these are the 5 learning styles: visual, auditory, feelings, extroverts and introverts. So you need to identify which style is your partner's style, and accordingly, if you place yourself, you will find that you both are on the same page. But if you feel that no, you're not on the same page, then you need to really identify where you are going wrong, whether your styles match with your partner or not. And in order to make the marriage work, it is important to understand. So we all need to do this, and we need to actually counsel also. If we are as a counselor working, then you need to understand the both the person's learning style and then guide them accordingly. Okay. Then other differences. Now there are very much differences on the basis of gender also. Men and women, they act differently, they respond differently. So we need to understand this also. Their brains are different. Now we need to understand that how, this is a fact that women will use 40% more brain connectors than will men. Now this is very interesting. Women will also use both the brains, left and right side of the brain, while they are talking. Okay, Rashmi, a third point as in feeling. Just a second, I'll go back. How you feel about something? Okay, Rashmi. Okay, so how you feel about something. Now there are some people who won't understand by looking at or by listening at, but when you make them feel the thing, then they would be able to understand you in a better manner. For example, let's take it as an example that you want your partner to know that your choice of food is, let's say, sour, and your partner is also feeling your partner has a different choice. Now your partner, whenever he or she talks in terms of I don't feel this is right, that means your partner understands well with feeling. So whenever you talk to them, you have to talk in this way, that I feel that you might feel right when these things go this way, right? So you are talking in the terms of feeling. You will have to talk in terms of the words using emotions. You need to use the emotional words, and all those words. Gestures would count here, your touch would count here. This way the person would be able to understand better. Okay, Rashmi. Now, welcome. The other question is, what if both are extrovert? Well, there may be a relationship where both are extroverts. Now here you will have to understand it, that if you want this relationship to work, then sometimes you will have to keep quiet, and sometimes you'll have to be firm, polite and assertive to make your partner understand that this is the time when you're speaking and he has to or she has to listen. If both are extroverts, then you will have to understand each other's need, and in a given moment, sometimes you will just listen in the communication, and sometimes you have to be assertive, politely assertive. Okay. So we were talking about the genders differences, that women, they use both kind of brain, left and right brain at the same time, and they use a kind of umbrella kind of thing when they are talking about this. And men are more, we can say, goal oriented, and women are more relational. So gender differences in communication will always be there. So when most of the time you find that, okay, when women are talking to each other, there's a different kind of conversation. Men, when they talk among each other, there's a different kind of conversation. So they are on a different, men are like, if you read the book, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So definitely it proves to be true. Their responses are also different with each other. Like there are certain gender statements which frustrate the men, and there are certain gender statements which might frustrate the women also. There are different. The purpose of understanding is that we need to understand each other better. We need to know that yes, from a man this response might come from like, for example, men will always say that women are not good car drivers. This is a very common statement which we hear. So they are talking in one language only, that women, when they drive, there are so many things going on in their mind, and they are hence not a proper car driver. Now what would be the response to this? Yeah, generalized, very right. What would be the response when they say that, okay, women are not a good driver? How would you feel as a woman? What would be your responses? Okay, then women are usually the expander in the relationship. So most of the time what happens is that in any relationship, women are considered to be, these are just details which I'm sharing with you, women are considered to be more of expander. They go on minute details. Like suppose there is a conversation which took place between two people, and then the woman is coming and telling the same, so she would talk about minute to minute thing, minute to minute details, and share everything. And the same when it comes to husband, he would finish it off in one line. So this is again a gender difference. So most of the time women are the expander. They are the ones who would talk about minute details, smallest details, and everything. And men are usually the condenser. Condenser means they take it into, they would usually try to condense it, make it small, and finish it off as soon as possible, because that is some conversation which they are not very fond of. Okay, so gender differences are always there. If we know these gender differences, then things might seem in a better way. Now, again, we were talking about in the beginning, we had talked about building love maps, how to make a strong house foundation, building love maps. So detailed knowledge of each other's world strengthens connection, creates shared meaning, and increases tolerance for handling conflict. So each other, when you know each other's plus, minus, likes, dislikes, that will make a connection. So, when you know that, okay, your husband would likes to eat something special, you try to make that something special when his mood is off. So if you have a detailed knowledge about each other, you can always, ask 20 questions to each other. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite food? What do you like to, where do you like to go? What are your favorite tourist spots? So there can be these 20 questions which you can ask each other and know each other, a detailed, minute knowledge. If you have read the marriage counseling book, which has been written by Dr. Mittal, you will come to know all these tests which are there in the book, and you will really enjoy when you do these tests with your partner and know that where and how you stand with each other. It's really beautiful when you see the book. I'm sure this book must be with everyone, those who are doing this course. This is the book which is written by Dr. Mittal, right? So marriage divorce, and there are so many tests given here which really are quite interesting. So this, if you do not have, then I think you should go for it. It's a beautiful book, and this will make you have the love maps. And once your love maps are in place, that would give to shared meaning. And when you have all these things, then you will be able to have more tolerance for handling conflict. Conflict is something which is inevitable. It would happen. Two people cannot think alike. So there are points of time when you will have conflicts. So when you know that how your partner is soothed down, how you can calm him or her down, then you'll be able to know each other well. So you should be able to build the love maps. For example, what is your partner's food? Name something that makes your partners feel very happy. What would your partner do with the money if they had rupees 2 lakh? Or what is your partner most afraid of in life? Now, these are the love map questions. You can make your own question set of 20 questions, 50 questions, and then there are some questions given in the book also. You can take help of them. And once you know, you will know that how to soothe or how to avoid conflict and how to have your love maps clear. So build the positive emotional bank account. Positive build emotional bank account means keep talking positive about each other. Keep trying to find. What happens is it's very easy to find faults in each other. But if we are able to understand, every morning, if you just analyze and be thankful for 5 things your partner does for you, it would really help. Just close your eyes and say, I'm really thankful that my partner prepares tea for me. I'm very thankful that I have somebody whom I can lean on, or I am really thankful. These 3, 4, 5 points which so that will be your positive emotional bank account. So whenever you have a conflict, you can withdraw something out of it and use it. So that would be helping. It will create tolerance, and it will also help you to your positive sentiments. So override makes it easier to keep the horses, like horsemen we were talking about. So this is a very cute one. Be a teddy bear, not a prickly bear. Like whenever you feel that you are having a conflict, it's always good to be a teddy bear where anybody would like to come and hug, and the moment that Jadoo ki Jappi is in place, things would be taken care of. But if you're a prickly bear, believe me, it's going to be very, very tough. So that has to be taken care of. Finally, communication in a marriage is extremely important. Without proper understanding and adjustments, many marriages will experience great difficulty and possibly split up. So take time to learn your spouse communication style. then adjust accordingly. So that's all for now from my side. If you have any queries or questions, I would love to take them. Otherwise, this is what I will stop here. Anything anybody would like to chat or talk, I'm open for discussion. We can talk. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. Anybody would like to say anything?